live. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody that's here that came. And I'm so happy. Thank you, Linda, for coming on. I've been wanting
Thank
to
you
have you
for
back
inviting
on.
me, my friend. You're a dear heart, that's for sure.
Well, I thought, I know we both like to talk about politics and we both like to watch all that stuff, but I thought I had some stuff. We could still do that, but I had a few things
I
that I
do
wanted.
have just a few things to tell everybody. I did a short video the other day, and I wanted to amplify 1,000-fold what my guide said to me this morning.
Really? Do you want to tell them before or you want to tell
Yeah,
them after?
no, towards the end because more people will be here.
Okay, all righty. Well, I also wanted to tell you too before I can let people know too that and since I saw you last, I started this new manifest.
I need me some of that love potion, girlfriend.
I got it. I got it. I got it, and I'll send you some. And I got some. Aphrodisiac ones too.
Well, when you told
love.
me about it, I went to order, but you were out.
You not have
sold
to
out
order.
like that.
But you don't have to order because I want to send you some.
Oh,
so for all the stuff you do for us.
Well, then I'll display it on my show.
Well, that's nice. I sent Mel some. He said he loved it, and we got we made our own little pretty little pink manifest labels, and I make them. What I've been doing is I've been having my guides. I used to do this for me all the time. And I thought, well, maybe other people would like this. I have my guides tell me what oils to use for certain situations or what I have them tell me what do I need. And then I have them choose the crystals. And every single time, Linda, they pick the right crystals and the right oils exactly of what I need. I don't even have to look and it'll pick the right ones. It's amazing. It's like magic. And I love it. And it's been so much fun. So I've been doing that. So I put the link, you guys, in the description if you guys decide you want to check it out. And once we get going, we're going to start having like other stuff. Like we're going to have crystals and tarot cards and fun stuff. And maybe your book, if I can find a way to put your book in there. Yeah,
it should be released the middle of March. It's in process. It's out of my hands now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, what I wanted to ask you about today is I have been watching you for a long, long time, and I know you had near-death experiences, and I've lost a lot of loved ones that I miss very much, and I know a lot of us here have, and I just wanted to ask you some questions I wrote down, and I think you said, weren't you 8 years old when you had your first near-death experience?
It wasn't, I think I might have died, but I went straight to the realm, the other side. This wasn't a dream. I went to the other side, and that's where I saw Jesus. And when I did go back into my body real fast, I was wide awake and ice cold, like I had been dead. And I didn't know at the time who Jesus was. I had to ask my mom, who is this man? And he was so filled with love and peace. Because my mom was mad at the Catholic Church, so she wasn't very.
I can see why.
But when we were young, Mom and Dad would just let us go with whatever neighbor to the Catholic Church, to the Presbyterian, to the Mormon. And as kids, we always went to the Bible study. And so because I wanted to get more intel on this Jesus of Nazareth, I was very curious about him. Mm-hmm. And they'd be talking away, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not the guy I met. He's not, listen to me or go to hell.
Yeah. I had a hard time with that in church. When I was a little girl, they used to make me, I'd have to go bring everybody I knew to church and get them saved. And if they didn't, they'd tell me my friends would burn in hell. And I'd cry and I would beg my friends to come to church with me. And they scared me. And every time I made a mistake and every time I had a bad thought, I would think I was not going to go to heaven. And it stuck to me for years. And it took me years and years and years and years. And sometimes
that's all about power. It's all about power.
Is that what you think it is?
Yeah,
I think that
they try to, by making you fear, that gives them power.
Right. And I thought,
kind of like what's his face, the post-president, the past president, future last president, last night in Philadelphia. He was slurring his words. It's so funny. They talk trash about Trump. I mean, about Biden. And he said, and they're going to change the name of Philadelphia. Oh, thank you, Ophelia. They're
Thank
gonna
you. Thank you,
change the
everybody.
name.
Thank you, nice to see you, Kevin and Spirit. Thank you, everybody. I can't say hi to all you, but I appreciate you all being here.
Thank you. But he was saying they're going to change the name of Philadelphia. Who's they? And why would anybody change Philadelphia? Do you see what I'm saying? He just likes to put out things to make people think, oh, they're going to take away our guns, which is never what anybody said. You know, it's just about gun safety. But no, I'll die before you can take away. No, it's whatever.
It's crazy, and nobody needs. And you can have a gun to protect yourself, but nobody needs an assault rifle to protect themselves or to go hunting. And
Right.
kids get a hold of that. It's crazy. When you saw
Robin just said that Trump called Matt Gaetz Rick Gates.
Yeah, and he said World War II, that we were going into World War II. And he said Nikki Haley was, he said, I offered, he mistook her for Nancy Pelosi, but not one word about him. 91 not indictments, but charges, not one word. And Biden said they went 40 years back, couldn't find a dang thing on him, but they got all this and they won't say a word about their dear leader.
I did a short read on that gentleman that said those things about. And by the way, that special counsel man was the one that helped Trump fire that FBI agent who was trying to get out of there so he wouldn't lose his pension. He got him removed before and he couldn't get his pension. Ended up, remember, and everybody gave money to him. He made more money than he did with the pension. And he sued them and he won it all back. But that guy is the one that helped Trump. And this all slamming Donald Trump is not going to work. But it's not going to work for him.
No, it's not. And then, like I told you, the one thing I will say, getting off the subject a little bit, we were talking is when it broke my heart for Biden when they said he didn't remember his son's death and the date of his death.
It was none of his damn business.
And we were talking backstage, and I said, I've lost a mother, a father, a brother, a sister. And I said, and I don't remember the day that each one of them dies. I do mom for some reason, but the day, it's been years. But it doesn't take away my love. It doesn't take away me remembering the hurt when I lost them. It doesn't make me not miss them every holiday. So how dare they? I was so mad, and I was so proud of him that he stood up, for himself. I bet he went a lot worse.
Now listen, you guys, Biden is old. Yes, I accept that. He's 80 years old. Right. But what's the next person? What, are you not going to vote for Biden? You're going to vote for who? Robert Kennedy Jr., Trump? Listen, this guy is in there and he knew that he could beat Trump. Let me tell you, he's going to beat Trump. But also, he doesn't have to do this. He's 80 years old. He can retire with his beautiful wife and go on holidays. He didn't have to, but he just felt he should. And there's a lot of stuff he wants to complete. Yes. And let me tell you, I don't care what they tell you, you guys. I just feel like I can even see the moderators talking on TV, kind of like, oh, wow, we really got that wrong. Like everybody's all wanting to throw this in our faces. So, oh, yeah, he could win. He could win. He's going to lose. He's going to lose big time if he's even in the thing because his health is really bad.
Well, I get around May. I keep getting around May, somewhere around there, late spring, early. I think there's going to be some big stuff happening. And I feel like his health and his mental capacity, everything's going down.
And that's what Andre's been saying now. How long have I been with Andre? A couple of years.
Yes.
And he was saying, because back when Andre first was on with Debbie Freebird and he was talking, and I had him on my show, he always said, this guy gets off with everything. He's got these planets. In fact, if he was a good guy, he'd really do good, but he doesn't work in the right way for it. So he said, this guy just slides through. It seems like he always has that luck. And then he says, and then all of a sudden, I don't know the planets, but this switches to this and blah, blah. And all of a sudden, he's going to have to pay the piper. And that's what's happening now.
Yeah. I've seen there's some new guy that is going to be from North Dakota, South Dakota, that's running for president for the Democratic Party against Biden, and he's not going to win.
No. And Marianne Williamson just finally dropped out. Nobody's talking, you guys. And I think I put this on my YouTube. Nobody's talking about Biden winning a thousandfold over Trump in Nevada. Nobody's mentioning that. No, they're going to say, oh yeah, Biden's 5 points behind. Look it up. Biden got so many votes more than Donald Trump in Nevada.
Got a good heart. Ophelia said, age is wisdom. Age and wisdom go hand in hand. Biden is the most experienced president ever, and he's done more than at his age. He's done more. He's still riding a bike. I can't ride a dang bike.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I think you don't even want to see my happy ass on no bike.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I do think Merrick Garland will not be in the second term of this administration. I don't think Merrick Garland is going to step down on his own, because Merrick Garland should not have let that report go out that criticized Biden. I think Biden's a little shocked that Merrick allowed it, because that had nothing to do with what was at hand. Should you get charged for this, for these, secret? Yeah, his staff had put stuff down there, and it was an honest mistake.
Well, I did you see Fox was jumping all over it too?
They loved it. This was fodder for them.
Yep.
But mind you, they're not talking about the man that not only refused to give back, but probably has sold a lot of this information. And we have intel. That's when people knew something was wrong. You know, the people who keep the records also have dropped the ball. But they said that we have, said there's a mole. There's a mole somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened was informants out on the field were getting knocked off.
Oh, wow.
We lost a lot of informants. So.
Well, I'm going to get back to this, but I did want to ask you your opinion on something. Did you see that thing that Hannity posted about with the what are they called? Guardian angels that went out there and they assaulted this American citizen who was Hispanic, who was brown, and assaulted him and was beating him up. And Hannity's like, turn the camera towards it, turn the camera towards it. And they turned the camera towards it and they were filming it and saying, yeah, they don't give those cards to veterans and this and that. And they're beating this guy up. And it's on Fox, and they were showing it. Turned out they said he was stealing. Well, it was a migrant, and he was stealing. Well, it turned out he was a United States citizen. He wasn't stealing a darn thing. They attacked him because he was speaking Spanish to some other Spanish person.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I feel like that there's going to be a lawsuit over that.
Yeah.
And he came back on, Hannity came back on, and he did not apologize. He said, oh, we were wrong, though, because he blamed them. So I tell you, I'd be glad when Fox News is gone. But I wanted to know, getting back to what we was talking about, what you was talking about, you saw Jesus. Do you remember? Do you remember what he looked like?
Yeah, what happened was, I was in the realm. I'm telling you right now, I heard the angelic tone, the high, it's like a bunch of angels all at once with this tone, but I think it's a vibrational thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was in this green, grassy kind of knoll kind thing, and there was a huge cross, huge. And they told me to come to the cross. There was these women, and they were all cloaked, and they put their hands down like kneel. So I kneeled in front of this cross, and there was this big, huge like Bible, but there was no letters and there was no writing. It was like it was a statue Bible. And something told me to look up. So I looked up and there he was. I mean, Technicolor, glorious, beautiful man. Definitely not a light-skinned man.
I didn't think he would be.
Yeah, but he had piercing eyes. I almost thought they were blue eyes, but it could be because of the light in the eyes. You know what I'm saying?
You feel like they could just see right through you.
And when I looked up, it was so all-encompassing that it scared me, because I was only 8 years old. Mind you, I was raised by atheists. Nobody talked about Jesus. So I put my head down real quick. And somebody said to me, you better listen up because he's got a message for you. So I reluctantly looked up again. And he was just beautiful. And he opened up his arms to me and he said, my child. And as soon as he said that, I put my head down again and bounced right back into my body.
Did he tell you he was Jesus or did you just know it?
Well, what happened was I told my mom that I visited this place and there was this huge cross with a Bible and there was a man there. She goes, that sounds like Jesus of Nazareth. That sounds like Jesus. Well, I did some intel and found some of my friends, people that I know. One gal had a picture of Jesus on the wall. That wasn't him, but I knew that it was Jesus of Nazareth.
Did your parents believe you?
Maybe my mom did. My dad was bah humbug. Yeah, he didn't believe in
I
it.
wondered if they believed you and if they, if that, kind
I
of,
do.
hi, illumination portal, hi everybody. So when was your second near-death experience, and was that different than when you were a child?
Well, it wasn't a near-death experience. It's when I handed my life over to the realm. When I had cancer and I was walking. This is all in my book coming out in the middle of March.
Yeah.
I was just telling Deann, the book is out of my hands. It's in process now. So it's going to be published probably by the second week of March. But anyway, so what happened was I was walking my dog and I had no hair, no breasts, and I begged for my life because my boys were little still and I didn't want to leave them. And so I said, please, please, don't let me die. And that man who talks in my right ear said, there's no such thing as death. And I got embarrassed when he said it. I thought, ooh, yeah, you're right. So then I literally handed my life over. Like it was like it came down from my solar plexus. And it was like, into thy hands I commend my spirit. I accepted that I would die. I accepted that in faith that everything was still going to be okay. My children were going to still be okay. I handed it over in faith. And in that moment that I handed it over, I was so overwhelmed with emotion. I heard a rumbling noise and I thought it was the guys. See, there was no cars on that road. It was just a walking path.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was the guys that work out there that drive a Jeep around occasionally. So I started pulling Moochie to the side, like, let's get out of the way so this truck can go by, because it was rumbling. And then all of a sudden I see the top of the trees motioning and there's no wind. I see the top of trees moving like King Kong's getting ready to go through. And in that moment, boom, it was like a mass wave of something. Something went through me and I heard thy will be done.
Wow.
I was buzzing, girlfriend. I couldn't eat, which tells you a lot, because if I can't eat, something's wrong.
Yeah, me too. I love food.
I couldn't sleep. I thought if I touched an electrical outlet, I'd blow it up. I couldn't get the smell of the earth off my fingers.
Was it like a feeling of joy?
Yeah, my native friend said the earth is healing. So I probably had an instantaneous healing at that time.
So did you get better after that? Did you start?
Oh, that's when I started realizing the gift had amplified. I'd always have a little bit of the gift, but not like this. And that's when, like I told you, that I was minding my own business, standing in my room, and he said, you're going to start a YouTube video. And I said, what? I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And he said, Linda, you'll help calm people down.
Yeah, and you have, because I know when, after my mom passed, and then we had COVID, and then that's when I started watching you. And then all this stuff, when Trump came in, I started watching, and I think we were all a little bit, nervous, a lot nervous. And
yeah, I just went in front of the camera on the computer. I didn't know what I was going to say. And it started taking off, which surprised me. And then one point my son said, Mom, you can monetize.
I know, right?
Like, I was surprised. I'd go 7,000, 10,000 subscribers. It just kept building up. And I said, well, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'm supposed to do it,
That's how I felt. I just came on and I thought, well, maybe I'll meet 4 or 5 people that I can talk to. And
I
don't have anybody.
And what a great community they are. I mean, even the people, see, because I don't keep a record of what I said, and I forget what I said a lot. And people came back to me and said, you realize you predicted the COVID. And they told me the date. I don't know if it was August or July, the year before. I was working at Angel Heart, and I said, there's going to be a really nasty virus. I see everyone wearing a mask. And little did we realize it was going to be COVID.
Yeah, you know, when I do readings and stuff, I forget after I've done them, I forget what I said. And I've got a subscriber who's always saying, Miss Deann, you just said this on this day and it was right, or you said that and that day. And I'm like, it's really cool to have somebody tell you that and affirm it, because you don't remember after it's said a lot of times.
Right. But the most important thing is to not have people get. And the other thing, for a while there, we were so anti-Trump. And that's when my guide said, knock it off.
I remember you telling everybody that.
And I had people mad at me. How could you say that? He's a worthless, which he is. But the guides didn't want us going into a state of resistance with all that energy of anger towards him. Bring it back. Just know that we are on this. It's going to be okay.
Instead of sending negative energy to Trump, we need to send positive energy to Biden. You know, I think, because I know what you mean. When you start feeling that anger and that resentment and that, you know, it affects you. It's not affecting him. It's affecting you. And it brings your energy down. So, yeah, I try to just pray for and send a lot of love and light to Biden and wish, you know, good wishes to him. And I think if we all do that, you know.
Yeah, put a lot of light on him. Exactly.
Yes. And I want to know, how did it affect the way you lived your life and believed? Do you feel like it changed you?
Oh, let me tell you, after that walking down the path incident, because even when I saw Jesus when I was 8, I was suicidal. I went through you'll read it in my book. I was, you know, because I was beaten bloody by my dad. So I had that vicious anger, you know. It's like, how can someone love me and be so brutal? And he beat my mom, and you know, I forgave him totally. But it really, I wouldn't change it now, because I know where I ended up, and I wouldn't change having cancer, because cancer saved me. I thank every day for cancer, because that's when I catapulted and got out of my own way. That's when I allowed well-being to come into me. And that's when I felt a happiness and a joy like I'd never felt before.
It seems to me a lot of psychics, a lot of people that do this work have come from hard times and difficult situations. And I think sometimes it helps us to help other people who are in those situations, and we can empathize more and feel that more. Maybe that helps us with our empathy, you know?
Well, my ability to see the deceased on the other side got really. And I tell people, because there's a lot of stories in my book, you guys, it'll blow your mind. But what the main thing is, I tell people, if I could just bottle up what they're feeling right now, the love they're standing in, and throw it on you, make you feel it too, you wouldn't mourn them another day. You'd know.
Yeah, I wish you could. I wish you could.
And what happened was, my ability to see the other side, they answer a lot of questions. Even with suicides, they tell you what's happening and why. And there's no hell and damnation. It's all about love. It's all about love.
I love that. Then is this why you decided to write your book, and what inspired you?
I didn't want to write a book. I'm not a writer. If I couldn't sit on, watch my TV and eat my chili cheese dog, I was very unhappy. But I'm just kidding. I can't really eat chili cheese because it hurt my stomach.
You like to cook, and you're like me.
They told me I was going to write this book. And you know what's really weird? I had a reading with Lisa Williams. You know that psychic, Lisa Williams?
I don't know if I've met her. I'll have to look.
She used to be on TV a lot. I think she's Australian. And I do that. She was very nice, and she did this reading. And she said, my parents were already dead. And she said, you're going to write a book. And I'm like, what? She said, yeah, you're going to write a book. In fact, Patricia McLean told me, my most favorite psychic, that I was going to write a book. And I said, what? Because I'm not a writer. And she said, yeah, and your parents want you to know, because I had 2 Scorpio parents who like to keep everything, you know, you don't talk about the family. Scorpios are very secretive.
I'm a Scorpio.
They said to me, go ahead and tell the truth.
What sign are you, Linda?
I'm a Virgo, the virgin.
You're a Virgo? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how those babies came, but I'm a total virgin, girlfriend.
That's what I thought about my mother. I'm like, oh, we were all immaculately conceived because I couldn't picture mom. I just wanted to know, do you believe that we reincarnate? And if so, do you believe we have to?
Oh no, there's always free will. That's the one thing they don't take away from us. Us taking away somebody else's free will, like some parents do with their own children. They want their kids dependent on them. So the kids feel like they have to depend on the parent to make a choice. That hurts the person. It's one of the deadliest sins, actually. Thank you, Fern.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I wanted to say too, we had a girl here named Lucretia, and I just wanted to say hi because I have never my middle name's Lucretia, and I never run into
Oh,
people with that name, hardly ever. I
that is
used to
so
tell my
cool.
husband I was named after Lucretia Borgia, so he
Hi,
better
Nicole.
be nice. Hey, Impress. New member, you got a new member there, Impress.
Well, that's my daughter.
Is that your daughter?
Yeah,
Oh, hi, Linda's daughter. Well, I guess she
yeah.
should be a member then, huh?
My little girl. Yeah.
So,
So
um,
yeah, what were we talking about? We were
thanks,
talking.
Fernie. Gave you a super sticker. We're asking you, do you feel like do you believe in reincarnation? Do we have to?
Yeah,
You know,
I was talking about taking away somebody's free will. And if you
yeah.
murder someone, you don't give them the free will to be able to live their life. So that
Oh,
will stick with you. That will stick with you. Not that there's hell and damnation, but they really make you look at how you manipulated people, or, sometimes real pretty women like to manipulate men, or how you manipulate your children. And it's you got to just let people live and and do their thing.
what do you feel happens to people that say people like Hitler, Trump, people that are just live
He has to
evil
live
lives?
through every single person and their family and everything they felt. So
They
he'll
have
be
to.
down there for a long time.
So is it kind of like what they talk about in church, like purgatory, like a
Yeah.
place that you go to until you've learned your lessons?
To
And
feel all of it. Whatever we've done to hurt somebody else will come back and bite us. Unless now I forgot to mention this in my book. Hi, Kevin. Unless, and this is the Catholic Church presented this, which is actually pretty good. What do they call when you go in and confess your sins?
confession?
Confession. If you see what you did and you realize it and you honest to God are sorry for it and you ask for salvation, so to speak, or whatever it is, they can absolve you while you're still on earth. So if you really feel bad about what you did, it's like that Alcoholics Anonymous, they make
Mm-hmm.
sure you go back and apologize to each person. If you see what you did and you ask for absolution and you're forgiven, you don't have to go through it on the other side.
I wonder about things though, like, when I used to go to church all the time when I was younger, they'd say, tarot cards, all the stuff I'm doing that, oh, it's a sin and stuff. And I have had friends say, you need to confess. And I think, but I don't feel I'm doing anything wrong to confess. I'm
No.
not doing anything isn't it all about your intention and why you
Yeah,
do it?
but also you got to think of regular religious. They want you to follow what they say. They don't want you to have peace from something outside of them. As long as you're not doing anything to hurt anybody, you're cool.
Right. And everything I've done to try to help people,
Right,
with a good heart.
right.
And so, what do you think happens to those people who say, I don't want to reincarnate?
You don't have any. You'll do. Trust me. When you're over there, it's a horse of a different color. Someone
yeah?
just asked about atheists, and I'll tell you, sometimes
Oh,
atheists are better off than people who say they're Christian and don't do the work.
what is?
Atheists, um, atheists don't say they believe, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no curse on them because they really just don't believe. My dad was in Missouri, and his grandmother took him to one of those churches where they danced with snakes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Scared the bejesus out of him. So of course he was scared to death. So he was atheist. No, oh hell no. And my mom got damaged by the Catholic Church, the way they
Oh, yeah.
treated
I
the
heard
Native
what they did to
Americans.
her.
Yeah, they let her mom rigor mortis set in a native hospital run by white nuns. and she died in childbirth, and then uh, she just felt there was no God, really. She was, I listened on her deathbed. I said, Mom, do you want a priest to come and give you? Nope.
See, I felt like I've gone to every church there is, every kind of church to try to find the truth. And I always questioned, and they didn't like questions, you know? And I feel like I just talked to God on my own. I just asked, pray on my own. I talked to him in the car. You know, I feel like I could talk to Jesus on my own. I don't feel like I need to go in that building and then follow a lot of man-made rules.
Right. And you don't need to explain yourself either. You go look at your works. Look at how you are. Look at your family. Look at the love around you. Not everything's sunshine lollipops.
No, we all have our faults.
We'll know a man by his works. So, you know, like I'm not necessarily pro-Catholic, but I'll tell you that Pope, I think, is pretty cool.
I like him too.
And I think he has a good heart.
And somebody asked him about being gay, and he said, who am I to judge? And I liked that, you know? Yeah. And Seascape said, I spent many weekends before church confessing. Sometimes I had to make stuff up because the priest said I had to say something. My husband is Catholic, or went to Catholic school. He said every week they had to go in there every day. They had to confess, and he couldn't think of anything he did. So he would make up, he would lie and say, well, I was mean to my mom, which he wasn't, but he thought, I got to say something because the priest said, well, you have to have something. So I always thought that was funny. I'm like, so you lied?
That Catholic Church got too rich, and they, you know, they worked against the Jews back in with the Nazis. It's very sad what that Catholic Church did.
Yeah, and look at the things that they did to what they called witches, who were people who were just herbalists and midwives and wise women at one time, and then suddenly the church started.
But it's not just the Catholic Church; it was a lot of people. Just, you know, when we judge others, we hurt ourselves. Yeah.
Why do you think the church always tells us there's one life and one death, and they say that there's no second chances? You know, what made you believe different?
That would go in and out, in one ear and out the other. Whatever they need to believe is fine. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything.
Yeah.
If you think you won't know until you're on the other side. All this stuff we're talking about, we could die tomorrow, and guess what? We're in a blank spot. You know what I'm saying? I can just tell you the things I picked up psychically. Is it psychosis? Is it for real? I will tell you, they have given me things to tell people, little jewels to help people heal themselves and be on this earth in a nicer pattern instead of a constant fear pattern. That fear is what eats us up.
Well, that's what it was in church for me, was constant fear, you know, and even as a little girl, scaring a little girl like that to where she's terrified, you know?
I was telling everybody, and forgive me for repeating this, but Life After Death, I think on Netflix, that doctor that had been underwater for 30 minutes, she was dead.
Yes.
She knew she was dead. Even as a doctor, she was thinking like a doctor. There's no way I could be alive. She could see her blue, bloated body underwater. And then she went through this whole thing. She ended up living, and it was a miracle. But she said, there's no such thing as life then death. It is life and then real living. Being in the realm is where the real stuff is. And there's no such thing as conscious then unconscious. You're conscious and then you're really conscious. Because the minute you get over there, wide awake, and you're like, this was the dream. Over there is the reality, and it's beautiful.
I've watched I'm obsessed with watching near-death experience videos of people and reading books and stuff, because it gives me comfort, you know, and people have such different experiences sometimes. Some have the similar with the light and everything, but others have different. And I wonder if, like, different religions, people that are Muslim, people that are Buddhist, people that are, if they all have, remember that show, What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
People have their own heaven. I often wonder if heaven or the realm is different for different people, you know?
Yeah.
It was an interesting show. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, well, years ago, but that's before I was awakened. I haven't watched it since I've been woke, so to speak. But I will tell you that when you're over there, you're not afraid of being awake like that. And there's people that go to different vistas. Maybe your life was living in the desert with other people in the desert, and that's where you go. There was people who died from the 1800s. Most of them have taken other bodies, but a lot of them still live in the old west kind of energy.
Yeah.
It's weird. But the place I saw that for real is there that people can go to, it's magnificent. It's marble and it's huge. These beautiful, kind of like castle looking, gorgeous buildings. I was inside this building with an amphitheater, and I was wearing a gold dress with a silver streak, and I was talking amongst all these people, and the love coming from them was while they were listening, and it just flowed out of my mouth. And I remember thinking,
you had a body.
I was like, where did I get all this information? I was just talking away. And the musicians, all the musicians are over there, and they make the most beautiful music. So the musicians we love that have died, they're over there making music still.
And I bet you Elvis isn't too keen that Trump said that he looks like Elvis. I just about died when he said, I'm like, you gotta be kidding
But
me.
you know what, Elvis, when you're over there, you don't worry about what other people say.
That's true.
Marilyn Monroe, I tapped into her one time. She doesn't like to be bothered.
Really?
She's like, please, I don't want to be bothered.
Well, she probably had to be in the public eye for so long. She just wants to be herself.
And
she's
so
not
many
Marilyn.
people were clinging to her.
She's Norma Jean. She wants to be Norma Jean, probably.
Yeah, she had a lot of healing to do over there.
Yeah, I'll bet she did. Do you ever think about why some people die so young, like babies and little kids, and some people live to be 120? Is it that they have more lessons to learn? Have you ever had
kind of thought part of the lesson, like the ones who come on and die of SIDS? It was planned from the beginning.
I like that.
There's no such thing as chance. And listen, when you put your heart out there and you want certain things in your life and you want to dedicate yourself to the higher realm, they'll start working, and you got no choice in it after that. I know when I kind of gave my life to, okay, tell me what my lesson is. Tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Some things changed and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But it was for the better.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was a little kid, I got kicked out of Sunday school. Actually, I walked out of Sunday school. I was 9 years old, and I asked them if my dog would go to heaven. And they said, no. I said, why? And they said, animals don't have a soul. I go, how do you know? And I said, my dog's happy, sad, mad, bored, everything I am. And I loved that dog. It was part of our family. And she said, I go, well, where did they go? And said, well, they don't go anywhere. They just die. And I said, have you ever been to heaven? And my Sunday school teacher, and I was only 9, and she says, no. I go, well, then you don't know anything. And I walked out the door, and I refused to go back into that Sunday school class. And I grew up. And I worked at an eye center for ophthalmologists, and a Baptist preacher, I don't know if I was telling about this, and he said, I don't know how we got in a conversation, but he says, but now you're an adult, you know better, don't you? I'm like, no, I don't. Don't you think animals go to heaven?
I know they do. I know they do. I know they do. In fact, there's a person that died that talked about their near death, and they were sitting on these steps. And they said these dogs were running past them, would stop and look at them and then keep going.
I had a medium. His name is Fernando Marone. He came on my channel, and I'm missing, my family. And so I said, I hate to ask you this, but is there a message from my family? And he said, your sister Donna, it didn't say her name, but he said, your sister wants to tell you her birthday is Valentine's Day. And she said, her birthday is in February, and she don't want you to forget it. She wants you to get her flowers, and said she wants you to know your little white dog is with her. And we just lost we had lost Buttons. It was my mom's favorite dog. She was a little white dog, and so I
Oh
said
my
that is
goodness.
exactly what my sister would say. Dad,
Yeah.
this is my birthday. So I'm going out today after the show, and I'm going to buy some flowers for her, and I'm going to get her a pretty frame for her picture.
Was that really her birthday, Valentine's Day?
Yeah, and my brother-in-law who's in heaven, my husband's brother, he died, and his birthday's Valentine's Day too. So I'm going to put their pictures together, and I'm going to get some nice flowers. And she'd always say, and I want a Valentine's Day card and a birthday card. I hate just getting a Valentine's. I want both. It's not fair that I only get one.
But that's unusual because they don't usually talk in terms of the human energy. I want this and I want that.
I know.
That might be her method of letting you know she's there. Did that portray her personality to
Oh
you?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it might, because usually it's not about things or anything like that over there.
Well, I'm going to do it for myself because I thought, yeah, that's nice.
Happy
I want to
birthday,
do.
by the way, Dan.
Yep, today's my daughter's birthday. She's we got all February birthdays.
Wait, is today your birthday?
No, it's my daughter's birthday today.
Oh.
And my sister's birthday that is in heaven is on Valentine's Day. My other sister's birthday's 2 days later. My best friend's birthday's a day after that. My cousin's birthday. It's like February is birthday. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to get her flowers and Mom's birthday is the 20th. So I'm going to do something for her too. I don't know if do they know? Do they know when we do things special for them down here to remember them?
Yeah, they can feel you, see you. They know exactly what's going on.
Does it matter to them if I go to their grave? I don't like to go to the grave.
No, we don't have to go. They're not there. They tell me that all the time. People will say, "Oh, I feel bad I hadn't gone there," and they say, "I'm not there anyway."
Well, that's what I was feeling. I thought, I hate going there. And I've watched near-death experiences, and they say they look at their body, and it's just like taking off a suit, taking off, something because it hurt and it was, sore and whatever. They were sick, and they don't even look at it like they care about it because you have a new body, right?
Right. Yes. Well, your spiritual body is it's almost like that movie Cocoon. Do you remember that when they were nothing like that? That's what I see with my guides. I don't see faces or anything. I see light.
Okay, so you actually see like a light next to you.
I see light. I see bodies in light.
And when you say that, you get a hit and you hear from them. Is it just like sometimes with me, it's like just a thought that pops up that I wasn't trying to think of that had to do with something? Is that what it is for you, or do you physically audibly hear?
I physically audibly hear.
You do? Did you always, or was that after your near-death experience that happened?
After my experience walking on the path of giving my life over, when they said, "What are you doing? You know, there's no such thing as death." That's when he talks. It's a male, and he talks as clear as day. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, you guys have mentioned it. When I'm sitting here doing readings, I'll hear, it's like I'm trying to talk to you guys, and then he's saying stuff in my ear.
Well, Marie's Table, she was one time on there, and she has a guide named Miriam or something. I forget her name, but I heard her. She said, I heard the voice. It was like, that was the weirdest thing, And
yeah, that's cool.
I thought, how can I hear it? I didn't hear it all the time, but that one time I did. Some people, you mentioned this, some people when they die and they think, oh, that's it, there's nothing more, they're an atheist. And so I was going to ask you if they believe that, would it make it true? But you said no. If they really believe there's nothing else, then they still go to the same realm.
Yeah.
Do you think there's ETs and stuff like that?
Absolutely. I didn't believe in it before, but I'll tell you, I talked to one time. And he told me that they've always been here, and they can't interrupt with free will, but they can stop nukes.
Yes. I did my paranormal show. I did something about the ice wall, and they were talking about this guy in the 1940s, Admiral, I can't think of his name. I have it written down. And he went there and he seen these beings, and they told him that they had been watching us, and that because it was after Hiroshima. and that they were worried about the nuclear things and they were watching. And so I think that's too. I think they're trying to protect us. They've been all over the place. People are seeing them.
They're in the water, they're in mountains.
Yes. Do you believe what people say about reptilians and things like that being
I don't know about that.
I
The
know, me
one I
neither.
saw didn't look like a regular human. He didn't look humanoid even. He looked kind of like the ET look.
It's funny, our government now is telling us. They're telling us now that there is UFOs.
Yeah. Well, we were shooting at him and that pissed him off.
Oh, I'll bet. That's kind of stupid of us, because if they have the ability to do what they do, that we shouldn't be shooting at them. Do you think there's this theory? This just curious what you think. There was this theory when I was going to church that kids, like when you're a baby or you die, or you're a kid and you die, that you grow up in heaven and you grow up to be 33 years old, the same age as Jesus is. And that if you're old, that you go back to 33 years old. Did you see people there? I wonder, do children grow up in heaven, or do they always stay children? Or is my mom 80 years old and 80 something years old in heaven?
No, they all stop at age 33.
Okay, that's what I had heard.
They'll go back if they were older to 33, and if they're young, they go. But when you cross over, like, so let's say you lost a child, they'll present themselves, at the age when they died, just so you recognize them. And then you get to see what they're like when they grew up.
Okay, I got a picture of my mom when she was 16. I used to pull it out.
Nobody's too young, yeah.
So the kids do grow up. They get taken care of and grow up. They don't,
yes.
And then 33 stop.
They stop at 33. Okay. I don't know why I got that, but that's it.
If my mom, my dad, my sister, our family, if they're reincarnated, say they got reincarnated, will I not get to see them when I die?
Okay. Yeah, you can see their essence just because you're reincarnated. I don't think, how long ago did they die?
Mom died 6 years ago. My dad died when I was, I'm 59 now, and I was 21 when he died. And my brother died 6 months before that. Sister died 20 years ago.
They're not reincarnated.
That's good, because
they kind of wait for the family. Some people reincarnate right away, but I don't feel like they did.
Maybe it's 1,000 years there might be like a few days here. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe they wait for us and then they come back. And when we reincarnate, do you think we see the same people in our life again? Like when I met my husband.
But you're thinking as man thinks. You're thinking that box with this family, and you're thinking as man thinks. Remember, when you go over there, you'll know the whole picture, the reason you were supposed to have these parents. Don't be glued on to, well, I have these people still with me. Allow whatever's supposed to happen.
Last one question I wondered. I always kind of used to think about this. My mom, I have her voice on a recording. My daughter recorded her and asked her all kinds of questions about the family, about how her and dad met, all kinds of things. And I love that. And I can never lose it. So I always have her voice with me. But my dad and my sister and my brother, it's been so long since I've heard their voice, and I don't have anything on tape, and I've actually forgotten their voice. And I wonder, like, when I die, will I remember their voice when I hear it?
Oh yeah, right away. But also, you remember, again, this is the human form. When you go over there, you don't use a voice. It's all telepathic.
So, they
talk to you in the mind. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what I hear from every near-death experience. Dirty Laundry says, my past life regression kind of showed I had different timing with each life. Some were 100 years apart and others were decades. So when is your book, you said, going to come out? You said it's going to be out soon?
Well, according to the people that are working on it, the earliest would be like March 10th.
March 10th? Yeah. So you're going to let all the subscribers know?
I may even have it set up within the next 2 weeks with a pre-sale. You can go on and order a pre-sale if you want.
Okay. And we just had a
You'll
question
laugh, you'll
here.
cry, you'll kiss, you whatever bucks go by. It's
Cynthia
good
wanted,
bedtime reading. It'll knock your ass out.
I can't
Oh,
wait to read it.
Cynthia, we're going to be taping it. So I'll probably, if we're on at 4 p.m. Pacific, we do it. I'll probably have it out on YouTube by, 5:30, 6 o'clock Pacific time.
And I had somebody want to know when will the mainstream media start going hard on Trump's accelerating cognitive decline? So far, the reporting is almost non-existent.
Yeah, they love to pick on Biden, but they're showing who they are. They're showing who they are.
I still think like May, right around May, something's going to happen where people are going to know. It's going to be obvious. Either it's going to be a medical decline, mental decline, or a little bit of both. If it's a stroke,
looks so bad, and his words are just. You think Biden mumbles? He was just off. He's just really bad.
He is, but why do they not say anything about it? Nothing. And he has all these crimes, and yet they will go after Biden when there's nothing to go after, and they're like digging, looking. We're going to find something. We're going to find something, and they have all this in front of them that Trump's, and they just ignore it. It blows my mind. It's almost like how they say they don't like people being woke. It's almost like they're asleep. They're like almost like they're hypnotized.
Like what Kavanaugh said. Well, do you expect us to vote to let people disenfranchise Americans and who want to vote for Trump in Colorado? Disenfranchise. And the guy said, sir, former President Trump tried to disenfranchise 80 million voters.
Yeah. When are they deciding on that? I haven't been able to. When is the decision? I feel like they're going to put him on the ballot, because I feel like they just keep saying, well, he hasn't been convicted, but we all saw it with our own eyes.
Yeah.
Are we not to believe our own eyes? It's like if I murdered somebody in front of you and you say, well, I'm going to be president, but I haven't been convicted yet, but everybody watched me do it. It's just makes no sense, but I'm feeling like he's
and this whole deal with Biden's innocent, but you know what? He's old and he's this. It's like, what the
4
hell?
years younger.
What the hell? And but guess what? He didn't hide and lie to you guys and tell you I don't have it and wouldn't let you have intel and sell it to other nations and Putin was laughing. He says, I have all of it. I know all of it.
Oh, yeah. And did you hear Tucker Carlson went and did an interview with Putin? Did you see it? I haven't seen it yet.
For money, by the way. That was money motivated.
Yeah.
I heard Putin left early. I heard
that too.
Yeah. He didn't like the questions, he said.
Said Tucker is a tool that's trying to get revenge and a cash grab. He could have gone out a window if he asked the wrong question. I would have been afraid to go over there.
I got to show you this.
Okay.
When you've seen that day's look before, but couldn't quite remember where until now.
What's it say again? When you know what?
When you've seen that day's look before, but couldn't remember where. He looks just like Curly.
Like that look. Oh my gosh, the constipated look. It does.
Oh, and I can't bear watching him. He's got those two folds right here. He needs some Botox. But he's always like,
I know, and the way he talks, I can't
what's Louisa saying?
She said, I read yesterday that the order to the entire report came out of the White House. There would have been a scandal had they not. GOP would use it against JB. I don't know who JB is, saying that the bad part was true. So what is that? The entire report. What report, Louisa? I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this summer, though, I think that they're going to go harder. I just keep thinking, I wish. What do you think of that? What's her name? Jasmine Crockett. That one congresswoman, she is really a firecracker. She tells them Exactly. And they don't talk back to her, you know,
I'll
because they
tell
know
you,
she speaks
that's what
truth.
I'm talking.
She
That if
needs,
I was younger, I'd be down there running things down there. I'd be telling folks off.
oh, you would be. You should run for Congress.
Oh, I'm too old now, but boy, if I was younger, although I probably age wise, I would fit right in.
Yeah, we look at the one who's like, constantly asleep. You
God
don't even
bless
have to be awake.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but she thought for sure Hillary was going to win, and she wanted to wait for Hillary and then step down.
I
She
know.
should have stepped down while Obama was in office.
I wish she would have too. HB said Putin didn't let Tucker speak. He controlled the entire conversation. It was a 2-hour dissertation by Putin on the fake history of Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, he's fake. He's going down too, by the way. That's another guy that's going.
I think so too. It says I did not watch, but did read that Putin put Tucker down by mentioning he was rejected by the CIA.
That Tucker was rejected?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Did Tucker try to be in the CIA, you guys? I think Tucker, though, what is this? The GOP says they need to get their orange demon monkey off the stage. He can't even give a good performance anymore. I think the closer that this trial comes and stuff, the worse it's going to get. He can't handle jail.
Oh, yeah, and you know what the other thing is? The CIA told Trump, your children would not pass the smell test. They cannot get a high clearance. And he said, give it to them anyway.
Right. And then they go all over Hunter Biden, who wasn't even in the government. I mean, he wasn't even,
Yeah.
It's just been, and Rudy, did you hear Rudy says that he owes 140 something million to the lady, I can't remember, Ruby, I think, or Rudy. You guys will remember her name. It just escapes me. But the ones that he slandered. But now he's saying Trump owes him millions because he never paid him for when he was his lawyer. So I think
he had no intention of paying him. He's a lowlife. Everybody knows.
What was that poem he did? I'm a snake. I was a snake. You always knew I was a snake. I always thought the poem was about him.
Yeah.
So, it's already been an hour, and I'm just like,
wow, that flew by. Yeah, I have another show to do with Deborah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Which Deborah? Deborah
who made these cards. Deborah with a Z. Deborah's.
Oh, okay. I'll have to watch. It's after this one?
Yeah, it's on her show. Deborah Z.
Oh, okay. Well, I got I was gonna tell everybody I'm excited I get to be on with you and Mel and the two Kevins you invited me.
And I'm gonna do that right now with Zoom. I'm gonna do not Zoom with this. What is this called?
This is StreamYard.
I'm gonna do StreamYard right now before I get on with Deborah.
That'll be
Thank you.
The 13th is doing that at 6. And then, guess what? I get to be on.
Wait, at 6 or 4 my time, 6 your time?
6 my time.
Okay. We're just doing a happy pre-VD day.
What are we going to do? Are we going to do politics? Are we going to do love readings? Or
we could do love readings, kind of an honor. We could ask, if people ask. I haven't done a personal love thing, but, it's good. Somebody asked. Like I've asked, I don't know how many times when Gerard Butler is going to be knocking at my door. And the damn cards are always wrong. They always say never, but I know something's wrong.
Maybe someday. He's probably in your chat. You don't even know it. I got a fake name and watches you. You never know. My sister's birthday, Valentine's Day, I get to be on with Mel Dore, and we're going to do love readings. So that'll be fun. So I love him. He is so nice.
Auntie Mel is such a cool person.
Well, tell me when we get off. Let me know because I want to send you some bottles for all the stuff you do for us. I want to send you something and let you.
And if they work, I'll be doing commercials, infomercials. They work.
I have, and I've been getting all good feedback. So, and I know they work for me. So I've been getting good feedback. So it's it's a tool. It's a tool also between the crystals and the oils and my belief and my intention and then your intention. And every time you use it, you think, I manifest Gerard Butler.
There you go.
I
There
manifest
you
him
go.
coming into my life and believe it,
There
but
you
it helps. Like you said, belief and intention is important. So
go. Yeah.
everybody here, thank you so much for coming. And Linda, thank you so much. And when we get off, I just want to tell you something for 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you all.
Bye,
Thank
you
you so much.
guys.
Bye.